All right. Welcome back to the Neutral Zone here for episode 6. I'm excited to have our guest on who has made his way up the ranks from the WHL, where he won a championship through a few different teams in the ECHL, where he also got to participate as an all-star, and also finishing up this last year in the AHL with the San Jose Barracuda. So I am going to kind of let him introduce himself a little bit more, but please welcome to the show, Kyle Crnkovic.
Thanks for having me. I'm Kyle Crnkovic, 24 years old. I'm born in Calgary and raised in Chestermere, Alberta, just outside of Calgary. So thanks for having me on. I'm excited, and it's good to reconnect with you.
Absolutely. So kind of give me a brief rundown of like your journey through hockey, kind of up through Canada, and then how you kind of made your way to the States to kind of where you're at now.
Yeah, I think it started like most kids, really young age. I think 4 I started and got into it, watched my dad, and I have an older brother. So I was always watching him and obviously wanted to be out there with him. And then I was played in Chestermere until I was about 12, and then moved to Strathmore, or not moved there, just drove there to play, which was about 15 minutes. And then I played in a bunch of different places, Okotoks. I was fortunate to play in Kelowna, which is a nice spot, Edmonton, and then the junior career started. So played Saskatoon for 4 years, Seattle, my last one, which was a nice way to end the junior. We won the championship there. Then Tulsa Oilers, my first year professional. I was signed with San Diego. Got to play a little bit there. And then I went on to Allen, Fort Wayne, and then this past year, like you said, Wichita and San Jose. So it's been fun. I got to play in a lot of different places and meet a lot of people, but just really grateful for hockey so far.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the Canadian Junior League, and you're kind of the first guest that I've had that kind of went that route. So can you maybe talk a little bit about comparatively like how the WHL maybe compares to some of the junior leagues in the States? And I kind of wanted to get your opinion too on like some of the changes that I know they've been making the last year or so with the opportunities the Canadian players have now with Division One.
Yeah, I'll start with that. It's been wild because as soon as I left, that rule kind of changed, and you see a lot of kids that are they start going to the WHL and then usually leave after 2 or 3 years. So it's different. I mean, I think it's cool, different opportunities for different people, and just opens some doors. But I mean, I haven't played any US teams or those junior teams, but the WHL it was a great experience, and I got to play some games when I was 15, and then my first full year was 16. So it was good, and I think it definitely helps you grow up, moving away from home and living with billets and doing school on the road. So it was a great experience, and I'm really grateful I got to play in the WHL. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was going to ask you kind of what was that first kind of culture shock or like adulting moment when you're kind of moving away from home and you're like, okay, this is a little bit different than maybe what I was expecting. I would assume it would kind of be like, a college kid's experience moving away from home, but you did it at a lot younger age.
Yeah, I actually moved away 2 years before my junior. But I lived with families that I had known before, so it was a bit different. But it was definitely it wasn't too far. It was 6 hours away from home, so my parents were able to come out and see me and catch games and stuff like that. But it was definitely a cool experience. I think everyone's kind of in the same boat with the unfamiliar aspect of it, and thankfully I had great billets everywhere I went, so that made it really easy to live life away from home. But great experience. I think you just learn to grow
Yeah.
up earlier and be more independent. So
Yeah.
nothing but good things. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your I think it was 2021, 2022. Your point total in Saskatoon. You want to talk a little bit about, you had quite a bit of success there. And, I know you and you're going to be a little bit humble about it, but I kind of want you to share out about that season that you had because the numbers are speak for themselves.
Yeah, it was a good year, a lot of fun, and I mean that was my 4th year there, and I've kind of grown up with a lot of guys, and I was fortunate to play with the same guy for pretty much 4 years. So a lot of chemistry, and I mean we showed it on the ice. It was a lot of fun to play with him, and we both had good years. And like I said, I just played with a bunch of those guys the whole time. So it was, and that was my last year there. So it was an awesome one, and obviously the point totals were nice to kind of finish off there with that.
Yeah. And then you said you moved to Seattle for the last one and you got to experience and, win the championship there. What was maybe a little bit different about that team that kind of maybe set you guys apart from the rest of the teams that year? Do you feel like?
Uh, I think, well, I got traded there right around training camp, and they had made the final the year before. So I think the expectation was a lot higher. Like it was kind of like win or bust type thing. And
Mhm.
we made a lot of trades for a lot of guys that were, either top guys or started the year in pro. So I think you could definitely tell when you got there, we all had one goal. And I mean, like every team does, but I think just from the year before and all the guys we brought in, even the expectation around the league was, this team should win it. So trying to live up to those standards every day. And I mean, it was so fun. The practices, the games, like it was just so competitive in that environment. So it was a lot of fun. And obviously the win, it made it worth it, and something I'll never forget.
Absolutely. And so kind of going forward into, I would say, like the ECHL career or just, going into the A and different things. I want to talk about kind of prototypical hockey player. You know, your speed is kind of, I feel like what you rely on a lot more, and maybe like hockey IQ. You know, size wise, you're not going to be like the bruisers of the AHL or the ECHL. So, I how did you kind of work around that and kind of figure out your niche of like, this is what I need to bring to the table to be successful? And then kind of how did you work on that part of your game to make sure you stood out in other ways?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a transition just from, I mean, you get to pro and the guys are older. It's not 16 to 20. It's 20 to 35 or whatever it goes. But just trying to not to change too much. I think like what got you there is, you got to rely on that stuff. And as a smaller guy, like you said, I've kind of been dealing with it forever. You're not going to out muscle or like overpower guys. So just trying to find ways to, put yourself in good spots and, be competitive and try to win those battles. So it was good my first year, and played in obviously Tulsa and San Diego, and it was a good first year pro. I didn't know what to expect to start, but it was a lot of fun, and I think a lot of growth throughout the year. Got better as the year went on, and just become more comfortable with the league.
So the term hockey IQ gets bounced around a lot. When guys are getting drafted or looking to go into teams and things, you'll hear coaches say, "Oh, he has a really good hockey IQ." What does that mean, in your opinion, or if you've heard from coaches, like what kinds of things would make a guy have a really good hockey IQ?
Yeah, I think just being smart in all situations, and whether it's puck management or making nice plays or just the little things that I think a lot of people don't even see, but like whether it's getting in the way and giving your teammate an extra second, going back for a puck, just stuff like that where it's like you could just tell they think the game and make the game easier for others. I'd say that's probably how I describe it.
Okay. Yeah, I had in episode 5, Nolan Sullivan was on, and he talked about, like, the box score and, like, the frustrating thing sometimes, at least, like, trying to people just look at the box score, but they don't
Mhm.
understand, like, there are a lot of stories and things that go on outside of a box score. Like, sometimes the numbers could look really good, but, like, your team is, like, falling apart, or, like,
Mhm.
your team is playing really good, but it's not translating to the box score. You know, do
Yeah.
you find that as well?
Yeah, I think even when you look at individual players, like, you win a game and a guy might have 0 points and even or whatever, but he had a big block shot, like stuff like that. I feel like, maybe like you said, you don't see it on the box score, but it has such a big impact on the game. And that's why I think that like the hockey IQ is little plays like that where they don't get noticed on the box score, but it's helping the team in the end. So yeah, I'd agree with you. There's a bunch of that, and it doesn't get noticed.
Well, and you mentioned the block shots too, and I know all the way back in one of the first episodes that we talked about like kids these days, young kids coming up in hockey. They're getting a little bit harder to coach because they're only focusing on like the scoring and not just the scoring, but like I want to try to, have my goal come in like Connor McDavid, or I want to try to do a Michigan every single time I'm coming down because that's what I see on TikTok or YouTube or the different reels and things. And do you kind of notice that maybe, if you're around like camps and stuff with younger kids of like there's a lot more emphasis on how many goals can I score with like my like junior age kids, or my dad's going to give me money for every goal I score versus like how many shots I blocked, or I made a really good defensive play, and but that's not really celebrated as much.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely taken over, especially with the social media and TikTok, like you said. But I think even when I go back to like when I got to junior, and you could kind of see it then, like a bunch of kids. But I think even for me, I got helped a lot, like the coaching staffs that you have. My first year, I had Mitch Love, and then Brandon Sony and Matt Odette, and just in junior, even they just teach you about the team game and try to win. So it's nice getting the goals, and obviously that helps you win. But there's so much more to hockey than just scoring goals, and everyone
Hmm.
can bring something different. So definitely in
Behind,
junior and even
yeah,
pro, like you get taught so much, and it's been good.
yeah, behind the scenes, I feel like doesn't get noticed enough and doesn't get
Hmm.
the credit I think that that it deserves versus like the flashy plays and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
So, kind of on, period two, we're going to talk a little bit about off the ice. So, obviously, like being a professional athlete, sports in general, like there's a lot of pressure that goes into that during the season and things. What kinds of things do you do to kind of de stress, like when you maybe feel the pressures like a lot? What are kinds of, things that you find give you a little bit of peace off the ice? And then what are maybe some things that you're interested in, like outside of hockey?
Uh, yeah, I think obviously the season could be long and grueling, but I love hockey, so I feel like I never really get a break. I mean, watching NHL games or highlights like that, that's always, it's not my hockey, but I'm still getting to enjoy it. But I mean, I try and read a
Hmm.
little bit. That's something I've tried to take up, so that's been cool. But I mean, like I was thinking during the year this year, we go to the gym or go to the hot tub, stuff like that. That just, even though it's just for an hour, kind of just calms you down. And but I wouldn't
Yeah.
say I get too much of a break from it in season. It's pretty much just go go go. But
Yeah. Now, are you still into like the like video gaming or board games or just things like that, or are you more like TV and just kind of reading and binge watching shows and stuff?
uh, I'd say I game a little bit. I try and play, a couple hours a week with some buddies, but nothing too crazy. I mean, I like watching YouTube usually before bed.
Yeah,
That that's always fun, but yeah, nothing too crazy.
yeah. So what kind of books are you like reading? Are you more like sci-fi, or do you like you know biography things, or what?
Yeah, I like just reading about people of the past, like a bunch of athletes.
Okay,
Yeah, like a Tiger Woods book. I got Muhammad Ali. I got to start reading them, but just
okay,
bought some books like that are just fun to read and hear the stories that they went through. And yeah, I just enjoy that.
yeah. So growing up, is there anybody that you try to like, I wouldn't say model your game after, but maybe take some things that you could maybe add to your game? Is there like maybe somebody that sometimes the answer is different, like a favorite player, but then
Mhm.
also somebody that you tried to model your game after? Sometimes they're the same, but sometimes they aren't.
Yeah, like my favorite player was Ovechkin growing up, but I don't have too many similarities to him. So, like, I always liked his passion for the game. That was something I took, and his love for scoring goals and winning. But I'd say growing up, just being in right near Calgary, like Johnny Gaudreau was a
Mhm.
smaller guy, and watching him and watching what he was able to do despite his size was something. As I got older, it was fun to watch, and you'd kind of like to try and model your game after him because he was a special player.
Yeah. Well, and speaking, you brought up, Goodrow, and that just kind of brought me back to like the Olympics this year and things, and Team USA kind of honoring the Goodrow family as well. I
Mhm.
thought was really awesome with that. And just because we're kind of talking just a little bit about NHL players and things, I want to kind of ask a question that I had asked to one of my guests on a previous episode, which is if you were on a line for Team Canada, like who would you like to have on that line with you and why?
The easy answer is probably Crosby. Just, I mean, I like Ovechkin, but you got to respect Crosby and what he's done, and obviously he's Canadian and just how much he'd won. I think it'd be fun to play with him, and then I think McDavid too. He's the best player in the world, and I think it'd be fun to play with him and just see up close like how fast he is, and how fast his hands and feet move at the same time. I think that'd be fun. Try
Yeah.
to try to play with those two.
Okay. Okay. I like that. So when you are kind of checking out like a new city, you mentioned you've kind of been different places and things. What are your favorite kinds of things to do to kind of get familiar with those new places? And what are maybe some interesting places you've discovered on your travels with hockey?
Yeah, I would say like this year with San Jose, usually every time we went to a new city, we would just find a restaurant, some of the guys, and just go eat. So I think it was always fun. I mean, you just catch up with the guys and have a nice meal. But like new places I've played, you kind of just, they always got the gyms there that are fun. Go play basketball or hot
Hmm.
tub. I know in Tulsa we had that, but it was like mini golfing with my friends too.
Hmm. Now,
Um,
have you picked up golf yet, or are you just still
yeah,
mini golfing?
yeah,
Oh,
I
you have.
play. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I got a membership here in Chestermere, so
Okay.
it's
All right.
fun. It's competitive and something away from hockey that's still you can enjoy and obviously need to get better at because it's not easy. But
Well, and I've asked this question to a couple of different guests, and I think so far we have not come to an actual really reason behind it. But every time we talk about it, it's kind of like, oh, I haven't thought about it that way. I feel like golf is like the one sport that a lot of hockey players play when they're not on the ice. More so, like I don't think you see NBA players necessarily, at the golf course all the time in the off season or NFL players, but I feel like with hockey, they're either if they're not on the rink, they're on the course. And I was just curious, are there any similarities between hockey and golf? And maybe that's why it goes together so well? Or, what might be the reason, do you think?
that is, yeah. I'm not. I mean, I think this is like my third year like golfing pretty consistently, but I think maybe just you're always in a rink and then it's nice to get outside and get in the nice weather. Like I don't know, maybe the contrast between the two, and you kind of change it up, and it's still working the hand eye and stuff. But I don't.
Yeah.
That is a tough one. Yeah, I don't know why it seems like that, but I know what you
Yeah.
mean because me and all my other hockey friends golf quite a bit. So.
Yeah. And I've noticed that it kind of is the one that crosses over. Like I said, you don't really see a lot of they might play in like, celebrity tournaments or something, but they're not just
Mhm.
out there on the weekly. So you're the first one that's mentioned kind of the outside aspect, which I didn't really think about that. I've had people say, well, it's, you're still competitive. I've heard people say you're swinging a club, which kind of has the same motion as the hockey stick.
Mhm.
But the outside I could also see as well. Because a lot of people talk about golfing as like, a way to de-stress. I'm telling you, I love to golf, but sometimes it is more stressful than
Yeah, it's
anything
actually
else.
probably terrible. Yeah, it makes it worse. It makes it worse, but that's what I mean. You're getting some outdoor time and some sun, so
Yeah.
It's tough to complain.
I mean, when you're dealing with the wind and you think you have a good shot and it goes, 10 to 15 yards off course,
Yeah,
it's
never
not
works how you want it to.
it's not very fun. So, I would say with Wichita this year, I noticed that you got the professional athlete of the year there in Wichita. So
Mhm.
that's pretty awesome. So normally those kinds of awards, they don't just take into account like the stats and things. They also take into account like how you carry yourself in the community and different things. So when you're entering in like to a new city or different things, we talked about how you kind of want to integrate yourself in the locker room. But outside of that, like what kind of person do you want fans or just people in general to maybe remember Kyle as like when you move on from a city? Like what kind of things do you want to leave as like I wouldn't say a legacy, but like an impact when you're done with time with the city?
I think just approachable. Like, I always wanna be approachable, and if you need anything or wanna chat hockey, or, some of the kids, they want autographs, I think that's so cool, and, when I was a kid, I was the same way, so I think just being approachable and a guy that people can talk to, and, obviously seeing the kids and interacting with them and joking and playing, that's always, makes my day, and, hopefully it makes theirs too.
I love that. So kind of transitioning into this next part of the podcast. So I'm going to kind of bring in like my background as a teacher and kind of the classroom side of things, and then I want you to kind of bring in your background of like the locker room and the athlete side of things to kind of talk about like some hot button topics, and maybe we'll kind of see where they kind of cross over
Mhm.
um, in kind
Sounds
of
good.
like a roundtable thing. So the first thing that I want to talk about, we've mentioned it a little bit with like the box scores and how it doesn't always show the all the true story and things. But I feel like with the classroom side of things, kids can get really wrapped up in like what my test scores say and what my grades say. And there's a little bit of like putting identity in that and kind of losing themselves and kind of basing everything off of like their performance
Mhm.
instead of just like, who they are as a person. And that's just for middle schoolers, I feel like it's a really big struggle. And so I kind of wanted your perspective on like the athlete side of things, either when you were younger or also maybe what you see now. How do you kind of balance the that side of things where like your job is tied to performance obviously, but
Mhm.
like you don't want that to overwhelm you to where you like let that control, your mood and your identity.
Yeah, I think, like, when you were talking about the test scores, and, like, the way I would relate it to hockey is, like, you can't compare yourself to other players because we're all good at different things, and whether it's school, like, everyone's good at a different subject or have something they care about, so I think in the locker room, I mean, like, some guys, they need to score more, some guys keep the puck out of the net, some guys bring the energy, so I think you can't compare, uh whether it's stats or ice time. It's just like do what you're good at and what got you there. So I would say that's how I kind of would relate it to that. But just don't compare. Just do what you're good at, and be yourself.
Do you do you see that like still being like struggles even with guys that maybe are like entering into the pros? I know sometimes people think, oh, that's just a problem that maybe kids have when they're younger and then they don't have to deal with it
Mhm.
as an adult. But I think, adults have the same kind of issues with comparison and things too. Do you still see like those struggles kind of popping up every now and then, especially when you're trying to, move your way up the ranks, I guess I should say?
Yeah, I think like sometimes in junior, it's you were the scorer, but now you come to pro and now you're the energy guy.
Hmm.
So stuff like that is like you kind of have to change your game or like alter it a little bit. But I think it's like anything. It's just you kind of adapt and find a lane that you're good at. But I think you definitely see it with younger guys coming out of junior. They're used to being whether the oldest on the team,
Hmm.
and now you go to the youngest, and just that would probably be a bit of a tough time transitioning. But
Yeah.
everybody I've played with kind of transitions well, and it's like anything, it takes time.
Hmm. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, I teach a bunch of leadership students, and sometimes they think that like this concept of a leader is, you know, I'm going to be the top tier of everything and everybody has to listen to me and do what I say. And I don't think they see the I wouldn't say like the bad side of leadership, but it's not always like the most fun thing to,
Hmm.
have everybody looking up to you because sometimes you have to make tough decisions or sometimes you have to, everybody else is doing one thing, but it's not the right thing. So then you have to do something different, even if you're the only one that does it because everybody's looking to you. So, I know that you had certain years where you had a little bit more leadership responsibilities than maybe others. And can you kind of just talk about like leadership in general within the locker room and maybe how it isn't always the guys that have like the C's or the A's, like, that can bring that leadership and kind of maybe how to lead from the sidelines a little bit?
Hmm. Yeah, I think even there's different types of leaders. Like there's some guys that are vocal, but like this past year I had like Peter Bates. He's not the most vocal guy. He's a great teammate and great to be around, but you watch him play and he leads in that way. Like you watch like his compete level, his care for the game, and like that just leads you and motivates you to want to, push even harder and help the team. But I think, the letters, it's pretty cliche, but you don't need a letter to be a leader, I
Hmm.
think. And especially my last year junior in Seattle, we were an older team and guys came from other teams and they maybe had letters there, but you're on this team, so now you don't have one. But we're all you just want to be fighting for a common goal, and it didn't matter. Like we even alternated letters, and it's like whoever has it, sure, doesn't mean much. We're all gonna do our best and build each other up and push each other. So yeah, you don't need one, but everyone can lead in their own ways.
Yeah. I love that. You don't need a letter to be a leader. You need to copyright that and put it on a shirt. You can make some
Yeah,
you can make some
yeah,
money.
make some money. I heard it from someone else,
Yeah,
so
copyright it right
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Hey, if they
seriously.
haven't sold it yet, then you know what? It's on you. You can you
Hmm.
can take that one. So, how would kind of piggybacking off of that then, everybody can be a leader. So, you know, how are you a leader? What do you think you kind of bring to the table that, could kind of help lead people that maybe might be a little bit different than somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a vocal, like, in the room getting on people, like, I try and be fun and have fun playing hockey, and, hopefully that leads people and wants people like, just have fun, like, this is it, it's hockey, you know? We get paid to play, it's such a privilege, and, like, I just try and enjoy every day, and hopefully, that leads people to enjoy it too, and, just don't take the game for granted.
Hmm. Okay, so my next question that I have for you. So in my leadership class, we read this book called The Energy Bus by John Gordon. So it's like 10 rules for the ride of your life. So it has like 10 different rules that kind of go with, a bus kind of thing
Mhm.
that kind of goes with leadership. So in what I wanted to do is I wanted you to pick a number 1 to 10, and I'm gonna kinda tell you what that rule is and what it means, and then I want you to kinda tell me, like, how you would view that in the athlete side of things. So, 1 to 10, what number would you like?
Did you say I'm episode 6? Is
Yeah,
that
you're in
what you said I
episode
am?
6,
Okay, well, we'll pick 6.
You
We'll
want
pick
number
6.
6?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
only
this is a
fitting.
good one. Okay, okay. I've been waiting for somebody to get this one 'cause this is a very interesting one. I think it's a topic that maybe not a lot of people think about, but I feel like it could be, especially for the athlete side of things, and you're gonna see what I mean in a second. I think this could be the where you decide if your season is gonna go down or up. Uh,
Mhm.
so this rule number 6 is post a sign on your bus that says, "No energy vampires allowed," which means every locker room and classroom has people who suck the life out of the room. How do you protect your team's culture from energy vampires that are trying to take out positivity and replace it with negativity?
Yeah, that's kinda like a saying in hockey, it's like, "No passengers," like, we need everyone on the bus with a common goal. And I think it starts like, whether they're not getting ice time or they miss home. Like a lot of that stuff, I think like off the ice, just hanging out with people, enjoying your time. That's only going to help on the ice. So I think just trying to, whether it's the team builders we do and stuff like that, it kind of gets everyone on board and everyone in a good headspace. So I think, but it's definitely something you talk about every year. Like no passengers, we need everyone because the teams that win, like everyone's on board and fighting. So I'd say probably something like that.
Do you feel like that is like a key contributor on whether a team has success or not? You feel like that's one of
Yeah.
the key, yeah.
Well, just I mean, if it's late and guys want to go home or they're worried about their golf game in the summer or
Mhm.
their girlfriend or whatever the case is, it's when you're not focused on the goal on hockey, it definitely doesn't help. And I think the
Yeah.
teams that win are they're all together and ready to go.
Do you feel like that's something that you can learn pretty early on in it as a team? Like, you can kind of feel within, like, the first couple like, the first month or so of playing, like, if, this is gonna be a team that's all on the same page, or do you think that's something that you guys learn, like, throughout the season?
Uh, I think like just trying to be a good environment to come into every day. And like obviously the hockey season's long. There's going to be ups and downs and long road trips, and so just making it fun. And like I said before, just realizing it's such a privilege. I think when you have that mindset and like how lucky we are to be playing hockey, like
Mhm.
you can't go wrong with that. And every day is a good day, even the long travels or whatever it is. Like just waking up with that mindset, I think is really helpful.
Yeah. Well, and you touched on something too that I kind of wanted to bring up as we wrap up this section 3, which is you talked a little bit about like if guys have something going on off the ice that they're maybe focused on, then they're not going to kind of show up, for the ice and for the game itself. And as teachers, we have this theory. It's called Maslow's theory, and it's like a hierarchy of needs. So it basically says like, people are not gonna be at their best unless their basic needs are met first. So it's like, as educators, harping on the fact that, like, we could present the best lesson possible, but if a kid is coming in and, like, they didn't have breakfast that day or their
Hmm.
parents were fighting at home or something, then it doesn't matter if our lesson is, like, top tier, it's not gonna sink in because, like, their basic needs of being a human, like, are not being met at that time.
Hmm.
And so do you see that as well, like, in an athlete's mindset of, like, if your basic needs mentally and physically and emotionally, like, are not being met before you enter the rink, like, that kinda sets off, a domino effect of, like, you're not gonna be able to be at your best that day until those kinds of things are taken care of first.
Yeah, I think that's why, with the like 72 game seasons, that like the preparation is so important because if you don't by halfway through the year, you're burnt out. You're not ready to play because after 72, then there's the playoffs. So I
Mhm,
think preparing, like getting your body right, and like you said before, just like you never know what people are going through. So that's like another thing is just like being a good teammate to people.
mhm.
Like you want everyone in good spirits and being a good friend off the ice, away from the rink is just as important as the on ice play.
Uh, do you think that there's ever gonna be a time where the minor leagues look at, like, the amount of games that they're playing and maybe look at lessening it or even like the NHL. Like, I know there's that talk with college football too, with money making, they wanna try to add games and things, and,
Mhm.
I get that, but just kinda seeing, like, the wear and tear, and I know there's a lot of guys that go overseas, and one of the reasons is, the games are less that are
Mhm.
played. So, do you think that that's something that the leagues would ever look at? Or maybe, maybe you are aware behind the scenes, like, that maybe they have talked about that. Is that something even on the radar?
Honestly, I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, sometimes the 3 and 3s are grueling if you could
Mhm.
split them up, or I mean, even make the season a week longer, 2 weeks longer, whatever it is. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have complaints about it. I've
Yeah.
kinda used to it. Junior was 68 and did that for 5 years, so
Mhm.
it's kinda just ingrained now. You're playing a lot of games, so
See, we just need a lot of players like you. You're just kinda chill of like, "I'll play, it's hockey." Like, "I love it,
yeah,
I'll
it's
play
hockey.
whatever games
Can't
out."
complain. Yeah, can't complain.
And okay, so going into what I like to call the overtime shootout, it's kind of a rapid fire. I've kind of got some fun questions here, and I just kind of want you to throw out, what best comes to mind. So you've been to a lot of different cities we've talked about, and you've obviously got to eat a lot of different things. In and out or Whataburger?
I'd probably say In and Out, I think. I don't really eat either one, but
Yeah,
I think In and Out.
if you had to say. Okay,
Yeah, I'd say In and Out.
okay. Best place for barbecue, would you say? Because I know you were in Texas, you've been in Tulsa, you've been in Kansas. What best place
I'm
for
trying to
barbecue?
I'm trying to think even where I what are some good ones in Tulsa? I'm trying to think what I even eat in there.
I mean, burgers. Society,
True.
we had burgers. I mean,
Yeah, we
then
did.
maybe that should
We
ask that
did. That was
question.
a good one.
Which maybe I should ask that question.
That
Which
place we went after, yes, yes, I'm going with that one.
the society burger with
Yes,
like
yes.
the yep. Okay,
Yeah, that was a good spot.
next question. Okay, you do not have to name names. Actually, don't even worry about naming names, but who is the absolute worst locker room DJ that you played with in the pros? And I would say, like, don't you can just describe like music. Like, if somebody starts to blast this kind of music in the locker room, you're out. Like,
Yeah,
what would you
I
say?
can't call anyone out, but I'd say, like, I'm not a big fan of country. Like, I know
Mhm,
the practice days, I would just listen to rap or
mhm.
like, that's my thing. I just hypes me up, but
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a lot of country going on everywhere, and I don't know. I
I
wouldn't say
it's
I'm a
it's
fan.
it's picking up a lot. I listen, you know, and even though I live in Oklahoma, country is not my I'm not a big
And
country fan.
every team I've played on, like, there's a lot of country, so I guess everywhere, like, maybe I'll
I
just be the DJ.
there you go.
There you go, there's the
There you
solution.
there you go. Okay, that's a good question. Okay, so going to the next question then. What are if you were DJing, like you were in control of the warm-up music out for, warm-ups or even in the locker room. Like what are the top 3 songs on Kyle's playlist that like would have to be played?
Like, I really like Big X the Plug. I don't know
Mhm.
if you heard of him.
Mhm.
I'm actually going to see him tomorrow at,
Okay.
Stampede, him and Ella Langley. I think I don't know.
Country.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
I know. I'm going for Big X, not her,
There
but
you go.
so I'd say Big X, I've been hooked on him. I think he's got like, Levels is probably my number 1 song, but you can't go wrong with Drake,
Yeah.
Lil Baby. Like, honestly, you just throw a big playlist on, and that's good enough for me.
Okay. What is a song that, because a lot of times they do play the same songs over and over again in every arena, I feel like. What is a song that like you feel like is overplayed in it comes on in warm-ups and you're like, not this again.
You know what? I'm kinda just zoned out in warm up or zoned in, whatever way you
Yeah.
wanna look at it. We had one in Tulsa that was really good, I think, and I never knew the name of it. I don't know if they still have it, but
Is it the one that just has the drip and then like it pauses with the drip? Because
I
that
don't
one's
know.
all the
I
time.
was always stretching on one knee, and I was like, "Man, this song's good," but I never figured out the name.
I'll see if I can grab the playlist for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
maybe
know what it
I'll have
is.
to listen to
I'm
it.
sure it's on like a lot of ECHL playlists. They seem to
Yeah,
play a
yeah,
lot of the same.
yeah.
Okay, next question. There's a breakaway and 2 seconds left on the clock, and you're taking the puck in. What is your go-to deke to win the game?
Hopefully no goalies watch this podcast.
Well, throw something else out there then. Don't share that. I don't want to I don't want to mess your numbers up.
I can't do it ever again. I don't know.
Okay, well, how about we phrase it
Like,
this way? What is your most memorable breakaway goal that you can remember that you're like, oh, that after it happened, you're like, man, that was really good.
yeah, I'll give you an ad. I think backhand 5-hole, I'd say, is like in junior, I scored a decent amount on that. I haven't done it much in pro, but like back in the day, that was like you're even midget and bantam
Yeah.
hockey. It was like that's what I love to do. But goalies are good now, and yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Well, and this one isn't really a rapid fire question, but I kind of want to piggyback off of that really quick because I did want to ask you this. So, because you've been in the A and different things and, you're not in Tulsa, I have to catch your games listening on the broadcast. Not as fun, by the way. But over and over again, I'll hear like the visiting broadcaster, you score a goal and normally right after it, I would say 75% of the time the broadcaster is like, I don't even know where he came from. He wasn't even on the ice when I saw him. Like he just out of nowhere. And so I'm just curious of like, do you ever have guys like after you've scored that just kind of razz you and they're like, where would you come from? Like, I didn't even see you.
I haven't. No,
Okay.
no.
Cause I'm
They're
just,
probably pissed they got scored on, but
cause I'm
maybe
just,
Doogie would say something like that. I think
yeah, cause I'm just
he
telling
would.
you
Yeah.
based on broadcast, they're like out of nowhere. And then sometimes they were like, I didn't even know he was on the ice. And they were like, I have to go back and look when he got on the ice. I think it's just, you're just too fast. So, okay, next question. What felt more surreal for you? Hoisting the WAHL trophy with Seattle or when you saw your first AHL goal go in the back of the net?
I'd have to say the championship. I think that's hard to beat. But yeah, the first AHL goal was awesome too because my parents were watching at home. So,
Yeah.
but they were there in person for the championship, and just that whole year was special. So
Okay.
I'd say the championship, but the goal is not far behind because that was really cool too.
Okay. What has been your absolute favorite city to play in as a visitor?
I'm a visitor. I like going back to Tulsa, seeing you. That was fun. It's always nice to.
Scoring hat trick goals.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so used to playing in the same rink, so it's been.
I
Yeah, it's like everyone feels the same. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's always good to catch up with you and
Yeah.
see all the old fans and friends. So
Yeah. Um, who is the biggest locker room prankster that you've been around in any of your teams?
we've had a lot of funny guys. I'd say Declan Smith was a funny guy last year. He was always a joy to be around. Always up to something.
Yeah. If you were not playing hockey right now, or whenever, later on down the line when you're not playing
Mhm.
anymore, what career path do you think you're going to go on? You think you're going to continue on as like a coach somewhere or you got different
I think so.
aspirations? Oh, you do?
Yeah, but if you had to keep hockey out of it, I honestly don't know. Maybe I'll come teach.
But you could be a gym coach,
Yeah, there you go. Some
PE
coaching would be
teacher.
fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
If you were coaching hockey,
Hmm.
what level would you like to coach, do you think?
Be tough. I think junior would be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be a cool starting point. I think a lot of eager kids and they all want to get to the next level, and so I
Yeah.
think it'd be a fun one to work with.
Okay. Uh, okay. Random question. If you could instantly become a master at any musical instrument, what would it be?
I used to play the trumpet. Well, I use that used to very loosely. I attempted to play the trumpet.
Oh,
So maybe I'd like another go at that.
okay. Was this like
We
in
had to we had
early?
to take band. Yeah, grade 6 maybe. We
Okay.
had to take band, and I don't know. I got the trumpet, but
Did you get to pick
was
the
never.
trumpet or was it just assigned to you?
I don't even remember it. I probably picked it because the other ones were. I don't know. I don't know, but
Okay.
so
So
I'd maybe like a retry at that.
the trumpet? Okay.
Yeah, and master that. I feel like that'd be fun.
Okay. And then last question for this rapid fire. What is the best piece of advice that your parents ever gave you?
I'd say they just say enjoy the experience. Like even for them, they get to see so many cool places, and they love watching me play and supporting me. So they just say enjoy the ride because you don't get to play forever. So that's
There you
something
go.
yeah, I take that with me everywhere and every day.
Awesome. Okay, so for the last part here, I'm going to have what's called a mic drop section. And I know your personality and I know you're not much of a talker, but I am going to give you a couple minutes to chat, so get ready.
Oh, nice, nice.
So, the mic drop section, I am just going to sit. I'm going to drop the mic and I'm going to give you time to just talk about anything you want to. So, it could be like a passion that you've picked up, a favorite memory, a cause that you're interested in, plans for the future, whatever you want to talk about. The time is yours.
Are you gonna answer, or you just don't talk?
I'm not talking. I'm just gonna sit and listen, and then after I can ask you some follow-up
I need to talk.
questions.
Yeah, I need to talk to someone.
No, well, I'm sitting here, so as you're talking, if there's a
I'd
question, I
say,
might
I mean,
jump in.
tomorrow I'm going to Big X, and that's my like. Would you consider that a concert? I think it'd be a concert. Ella Langley, and
Yeah,
that'd be my first ever concert ever. So that's something I should
really?
be fun. Should be yeah. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I've just never gone to one, so that'd be a new experience for me. But it should be fun. I like Big X. My girlfriend likes Ella Langley,
Hmm.
country, whatever. So should be fun. What else can I talk about? My golf game. Not much to talk about there. I'm having fun though. Might go camping soon
Yeah.
with the dog and family. So been trying to do that more this year. We got a boat, so trying to take that out.
Are you getting your captain's license?
No, no, I probably should the boating license, but
I
yeah,
was
I
about to say,
probably
how's that
should.
work? How does that work up in Canada with licensing? Is it kind of the same process?
I think it'd be pretty easy. I'm not sure. Like maybe just sign up for it. I'm not too sure. I'd have to look into that. What else is going on in the world? The World Cup. I haven't really watched much.
Uh,
I think
Soccer
Canada
isn't my
lost.
thing.
I think no, it's not mine either. But I keep seeing it.
Olympics, did you watch did you watch a lot
The
of the
hockey.
hockey?
I caught a bit of it. That was so fun. Like what a nothing beats that. Best on best.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
what else is going on?
How's your what, Maple Leafs? Yes.
Capitals I
No,
like.
your Capitals, that's right.
Yeah.
Any
They've
big
made some
trades or
yeah. I think they signed or they traded for Jordan Kyrou, he's good. They signed I wanna say Boone Jenner, I think they signed. It's weird though, as I've gotten older, I just like players now,
not
like
teams?
Ovechkin. No, it's just like I just like the players and
Maybe I need to go that route because I won't be disappointed.
yeah, I think you just support guys and like watching them, and that's
Winnipeg
good
had their
enough.
one
Not
shining
too inve
moment. Winnipeg had their one shining moment 2 years ago, and I think it's all downhill now, so
the comeback, is that weird? Is that
yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause they tied it with like a what was this,
Second, like a
second
second
or
left.
something? Yeah.
Mhm,
In game 7 too, wasn't it?
mhm. Game
And they
7.
won in
Yep, they
overtime?
won won it in overtime, and then you had Scheifele losing his dad and going into that game, and, just crazy. So, I
Yeah.
don't know, there's rumors going around that Hellebuck might be headed to Boston, so
Really?
mhm.
That'd be sad for Winnipeg fans, he's good.
I know, but, it's like a curse. I feel like
Are
he
you a
plays.
big Winnipeg fan?
My dog is named Manitoba.
Yeah, but I yeah. Was he named before that? Like Manitoba?
No,
Or wait,
that's what
you
I named
named?
him.
Well, oh,
Mhm.
okay, I thought that was just the name that was
Yeah, yeah.
gotcha.
I have
So,
all my
yeah, that
Jet
was
stuff. I have all my Jet stuff in the house. Yeah,
yeah.
big Josh Morrissey fan.
He's good, he's fun to watch.
Mhm. I just really
But,
hope he
yeah,
can win something, but
they sucked last year though, didn't they? I think, or
yes, yes, they did.
one of the
Thank you for
worst.
reminding me, Kyle. Thanks for
Yeah,
reminding
just
me. Yes, yes,
that's alright.
yeah, yes, they did. It's not a good year for my Jets. So, but that's okay. We'll move on. Disappointment will continue on. It's fine.
New year.
Yeah, new year, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Well, what so you're going to a concert?
Yeah. Well, it's at, like, a tent, so it
Yeah.
should be fun.
Is that
'Cause
the
I
only 2
think
people there? Is it because you said it's at state, don't they have a lot of headliners there?
yeah, I think every day, there's someone different, I think. Have you ever been to Stampede?
No. But I'm
You gotta
assuming
come
it's
down.
probably
It's
like, is it probably like Bonnaroo and different like Coachella and
yeah, but it's a lot of there's rides, there's shows, you gotta
where
come, it's the real
where
deal.
is that one
Some
at?
good food in Calgary, like, right near
You
the
talk
Saddle
like
Dome.
it's like, a hop, skip, and a jump. You gotta come out. Yeah, it's like
Come on down, come to Stampede, it's a good
yeah,
time.
25 hours, it's fine.
You can stop at stop in Banff. Have you ever been to Banff?
I wanna go to Banff really bad, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's only an hour away, so there you go, you can
Well, there yeah. How much are your tickets costing you? They just do it overall, like, per day or
I think my girlfriend actually got it for me a while ago, so I'm not sure. She's been planning it,
because you said
but
they do it over, like, over different days?
Yeah, and it's just like there's tents, and then there's just like the grounds. There's rodeo. Like you could just pay to go into the grounds and go to the rides, and
See, I'd probably
there's the
spend a lot of
BMO
time over
set.
at the rodeo. Rodeos are cool. I like
Yeah,
watching
there's a
those.
bunch. There's literally everything you could think of in there. Like people
Okay.
come from all over the world. It's the real deal.
Oh, okay.
I think it ends this weekend. Also, maybe you'll have to.
Next year.
Yeah, I was gonna say next year,
Next year.
unless you start the car right now and get
You're
driving.
right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I don't think Toby would not be very happy
no.
if I'm out of there. I'm headed out. That would not be good.
Stop in Winnipeg. Maybe make a
Yeah.
detour.
Actually, I am planning a trip up to Winnipeg, if not next year, the year after, to go up to a game. I've got some
Are you
friends
gonna you're
that
gonna
are up
drive there
there.
then?
Hmm.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
I
How
think
far is
it's
that?
like 11 and a half hours
Oh, it's not too
straight
bad.
up. It's
Yeah,
not horrible.
yeah. No, could be worse.
I
And
just
you'll
like
go
a
to a Jets game?
hmm
Yeah, that'll be cool.
yeah. Although I'm just worried about driving in the weather because I know it's pretty bad up there.
Yeah, it gets terrible, windy and freezing ice. So
But I haven't.
have to
I have
pick and
yet to
choose
get
your
on a
time. Yeah,
have yet to get on a flight, so I'm not. That's not in
you've
the
never been on a
future.
flight?
No, absolutely
You don't like
not.
you don't like planes?
No, claustrophobic. I can't do it.
Yeah, it just cuts the time like big time though.
Well, I'm sure. Well, yeah, because you're having to fly back and forth with the A and stuff. That's back.
Yeah, I mean beats the bus sometimes. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So, any other random things you want to chat about on your mic drop section here?
I was
Can
gonna
go.
say if you have a topic, I could talk about anything.
I'm trying to think.
You a baseball fan?
Baseball,
Yeah. Have you been to a what are they? Say
occasionally.
the
The
Drillers?
Drillers. Yeah, I've been
Have you
to
been
some
to a
Drillers
game?
game. Hmm.
I never been to one
You
or
didn't go
the
when you were in
Wins.
Tulsa,
No, I never did. I wish I did. And even in Wichita, the wind surge this year, I was up in
which I've
San
heard they're
Jose.
changing their
Sorry,
name too. The Wichita
not the.
Windsurge.
They're changing it.
Yeah,
That's
let
weird
me read it.
because their stadium was like right near our rink this year, but
Yep,
I
here it
didn't
is.
get to
They're
go. Yeah,
rebranding as the Turbo Tubs.
the Wichita Turbo Tubs.
Yeah.
What is even that?
Something about, I guess they like float tubs down a river or something. It's like
That's
I
what they
don't
do in Wichita.
I
I
that's what
guess
it says.
I missed it. I guess
June 6th is when it was announced. They're officially rebranding as the Turbo Tubs.
that's wild.
So, I don't know. Oh, here's a good question. Okay, theme jerseys, theme jersey nights, because we seem to wear those more than the actual regular jerseys. What is your favorite theme jersey that you've got to wear over the years?
I think we have the nickname one. Didn't you? Did you get it
Uh huh.
or someone? Yeah, I'd say that's cool.
The green one.
Yeah, the nickname. It's something that I mean. I think we only wore it once, but it's cool to
Yeah.
have a nickname. Everyone's got the different ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's fun for the fans too to see, and they start calling the players by it.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite? Mic
My
drop to
favorite.
you.
The
Theme jersey. Yeah,
great.
to you.
Thanks. My favorite. Oh my goodness. Well, we were affiliated with Winnipeg for 2 years, and so I got to have one of the affiliated jerseys for Winnipeg and the
When was
Oilers
that before the
before
Ducks?
the It was
Oh, that's neat.
right before the Ducks. We were with the Blues, and then it was right before
Mm.
the Blues.
Oh, I see. I see.
So that one's probably a favorite. And then another one, I have yours, is the Los Oilers, the Hispanic Heritage Night
Yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah. I remember that
because
one.
because I teach Spanish, so I was like, I have to have this one. Okay, so ending the podcast with a final question. I always like to end with, at the end of the day, when you are like retired from hockey and you're looking back over your career, what is the one thing like that you feel like you're going to be most proud of looking back, and why?
Um,
We're going to go introspective here.
yeah, I mean, I would say just the people you meet. I think that is like something that like I talk to people that I played with 10 years ago, like still. So Like, I couldn't imagine another 10 years of playing and all the people and the connections and the memories. Like, the hockey's great and the hockey's fun, but I think that would be something that'll be cool. Because once you're not playing and you still have those friendships and
Mhm.
people to talk to, I think that lasts forever, so
Community is very important.
Yep, yep.
I have learned that very well, and
I'm
I
sure, yeah,
agree with
even
you.
you feel like people that haven't played for Tulsa in a while and still keep in contact and just
Mhm.
never ends. Meet people and
Yep.
make friends, so
Yep. Yep. It's the impact that you leave. So,
and hockey's such a good way to do that, so
absolutely.
mm, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for coming on to the podcast,
Thanks
and
for having me.
we will look forward to see where your hockey journey takes you next.
Yep, we'll see what happens, but thanks for having me on. It's nice
Absolutely.
catching up.
Yeah. Once again, thank you to my guest, Kyle Crnkovic, for joining us today. And one thing that Kyle's story, I think, reminds us of is that sometimes the things that matter most on the ice are the immeasurables that you can't just see in front of you. And the passion and love for the game of hockey that he has is evidence for the difference that he can make in the game. And so I just want everybody out there that is feeling sometimes that, you have limitations that are keeping you from doing something that you really are interested in. Friends, just remember that the limitations that you have and you're putting on yourself are most likely coming from other people. And just remember that those are what they are, which is just opinions. And the passion and love for you that you have for something can always overcome the limitations that are placed on you if you put in the effort and the work to overcome them. The last thing that I want to leave you with is something that stuck with me today that Kyle said. You do not have to have a C to be a leader. Until next time, friends.